I'm Damon Zell, and this is your Eve Echoes Weekly Community News, where we take a deep dive into all the happenings of the week. But first, you know what we're going to do. Tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video. This way you can stay up to date with everything we do on the channel. Alright, before we get into everything, I know some people have been DMing me, want to know how the little pilot's doing. So here is an update. Yes, he is running, he is walking, he is climbing. God, is he climbing. He is doing everything that a 2-year-old should be doing right about now, except the whole speech thing, because technically he is still about 15 months old, even though chronologically he is 18 months old. But as you can see, he's having great. We had his first time at the beach the other day, just a short little venture, and we had the fair near here us within the last 3 weeks, and yes, I felt weary. We have been raising 4 baby ducks ever since, and as you can see, he loves to chase them around. So if anything else, I hope these pictures of the baby ducks and him at least bring a smile to your day, even if your day's not going so good. But let's get into the actual community news. But first, let's touch up on what happened with that breaking news. Yes, just a recap. I was corrected. It was not the largest fight with caps to be had in Eve Echoes, but it was certainly the largest losses felt in Eve Echoes by a cap fight. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, that would be the 595 billion in damages to caps. That is 15 cap losses felt by TCOS when they went in and attacked RETC with the help of Bot 5 repelling that attack. They did go on and saying that this was their goodbye to Eve Echoes operation. Technically, I believe it was called the Goodbye to Eve Echoes while losing ships in RETC space, but you get the gist. They did say they have more caps to expunge, and they will be letting the community know when they're going to do it so they can have a big blowout. But then again, does anyone really leave Eve? The other news from that breaking news video was that the Terran Federation did fall apart. They did form off into other alliances. It is no more. We're not going to really beat a dead horse about it, but there were a couple stories that did come out of it. A lot of people have been asking me, where did I go? People were extending me offers to join them, and I really appreciate the offers to come play with everyone. But I have made a home here at RETC. So yes, I am now a crab. Now you may be asking, what happened to those other corporations within Terran Federation? Where did they go after it fell? Well, some of them did stay to rebuild another alliance in cash, but some of them did make their way up and join the mobile infantry to fight Silent in the north. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because just a couple of days after that, on the 29th of July, one of the main reasons everything happened, J-Factor, who did take the Corp and made that new alliance and left Terran Federation, has since then quit the game. He did post in his new alliance Discord saying that it's been a hell of a ride. Nearly 2 years now that Legend has been tearing through the universe with me at the helm. But probably 6 months or more, it hasn't been something I really enjoyed, if I'm being completely honest. I came back after my family got off the truck and did the work to build Legend back up for a time, and we were tearing up space lanes again. Even our newest venture has been extremely successful. Silent is squirming, reinvigorating the war against Terran Federation, taken to trying to smear me on radio shows and take the wind out of our sails. But don't quit, guys. Keep it up. It's working. But I just don't find any joy in it anymore. It has become a job, not a game. And I can't justify continuing something I don't enjoy. Even if I'm really good at it, there isn't a ton of enjoyable content in the game from my point of view anymore. There are only so many ways you can crush a fleet or blow up a ship. Anyone that has spent time in Legend when we were all together with Joa and them knows. We are efficient. We are killers. We are a force, and we do it all by being small and being great friends, and I'm proud of what we built in that regard. We went from destroying ships all night to putting a cap in the cooker every 4 days. Everything Legend does is exemplary. I am proud to have shared this game with you all. Be dangerous out there, Legends. I will miss you, Jay. And with that, he removed his 4 characters from the Corp, from the Allaince, and transferred executive hold over to the new interim CEO, Scumdog. Now, they wanted everyone not to panic and wanted to let everyone know that it was business as usual to keep doing what they're doing, but they were going to temporarily suspend the PPK until they figured out everything. Now, since then, leadership has been transferred over and voted in as CEO Jaeger the Undead. And when Jaeger took over, he did put out an announcement saying that it seems that some people are running around like headless chickens. No need to panic. J-Factor left, yes, but that doesn't mean our way of life is over. It doesn't mean we still can enjoy our game. J-Factor had his goals, which most of us left everything to follow him. The game and the life got to him. It's sad, but life happens. We all can do is move on. That being said, Legend is going to pull back from living up in the north. We're rebranding and going back to enjoying the game. Legend will be no more. It'll be a season in which we become a family, a season where we learn how to play this mobile game. Apes was J-Factor bringing people that were tired of silence bullshit together and or just wanted PPK. Talks are still happening of what's going to happen, Apes, but as of now, feel free to hang out there and roam together. Now, that was put out on the 31st, and since then I really haven't heard back from Jaeger on what was going to happen. However, their Legend Discord did get a rebranding, now calling it Bad Company. So if I do hear back from Jaeger, I will put it into the next episode, but I did ask J-Factor on his way out if he had any final words. Was this due to continual hunting him down? Basically, he said, no, not at all. I just personally do not enjoy the game as much anymore. The content is really meh overall. They keep adding new things, but the game essentially stays the same. What I like is PvP, but PvP never gets any cool buffs or new content, really. I'm likely going back to EVE Online. I've been considering leaving for the last few months. So with that, the saga of J-Factor has come to its conclusion. I will keep you updated on the story as it progresses down the line. In our next main story, there was a massive fight in system XGH-SH against AOA ZRQ with the help of the Brethren Court against OG Void with No. The local of this fight actually got to 1,020 and has been the largest fight in EVE Echoes for some time. And of course, it was plagued by the amount of black screens, weapons breaking and have to recycling, drones not working at all. And on top of all that, the side of AOA and ZRQ dropped 214 cans around the gate in an attempt to lag out the other side. Well, apparently this backfired on them as they lagged out themselves and were summarily beaten on the grid. And a quote from Phoenix Tastor, one of the FCs, I was told that both sides had huge disconnects and desyncs. Also, the gun cycling was broken, needed them to turn and activate again. Even that was bugged at some points. We realized this first and killed around 200 ships. Our enemy realized that too late. Even if they dropped the cans, I feel sad that they lost it because of the gun bug. Now later on towards the end of the fight, Silent Federation did show up in a fleet of Macarials to help lend a hand against SOS, AOA, and ZRQ and the Brethren Court. I'm told that the No side fleet lost about 30 ships in total. The SOS side lost around 200. And the final numbers were somewhere around 300 versus 500. Now this battle did mark the end of the war against SOS and AOA and ZRQ for the Detroit region, and OG and Void are the victors. Now, just some stats from this overall war itself. They say that 16 Citadels were killed, over 5 trillion in damages through Pact. And if you're wondering what Pact is, those were the alliances that came together in a coalition against ZRQ, AOA, and SOS. They say that 2 trillion of the damages were from OG. Detroit has been seceded to OG, so there'll be another region underneath their rule. They wish SOS and AOA a well-fought battles, and that they deserve a time of peace to go back and rebuild. and they leave us with to a brighter future and much crabbing in peace. Okay, I did get a response back from Sandman, as well as a small history of exactly what went down. He states, OG had been sharing Detroit with SCG, who we were allied with, for months when SCG disbanded after being attacked by SOS, and no, OG claimed that the remainder of Detroit would be our own space as part of an agreement with SCG and GenFed. When SCG disbanded and joined GenFed, Gen controlled 8 regions. GenFed and SCG's stated that they would had no intention of continuing to claim Detroit or Tenor, and that everyone would be consolidating to amidst over the next couple months. OG, Void, Gen, ex-SCG made an agreement that we would remain blue with ex-SCG while they moved out of Detroit peacefully, mostly into amidst before resetting standings. And after they moved, they agreed to remove the abandoned citadels themselves. OG Void honored this agreement and avoided Detroit, allowing for full extraction of policies and assets because SCG were our allies in the past and we didn't want to hit them when they were down. However, when GenFed began to fall, SOS apparently saw it as an opportunity to move into Detroit and use it as a staging to attack OG and Void in an attempt to downgrade our structures and extort us for ISK. At the beginning of the war, for the first couple months, they refused to do Diplo unless we agreed to pay them $200 billion. So the ex-SCG Corps, who had already moved out and abandoned Detroit, but hadn't removed their structures as agreed, went blue with and opened up a couple of citadels for SOS to stage out of and attack us from an attempt to take control of Detroit. OG and Void were definitely not going to give in to their extortion attempt, and now that they were back on their agreement and were using Detroit as a staging to attack us, specifically targeting our caps with log-off traps of 50 to 60 people, it solidified our stance that we needed to push them back. A couple weeks ago, we finished fully clearing Detroit of their citadels, and we reached out to them again for the same offer of peace. Our only request was that the same as the start, cease structure warfare against us and stop staging out of our space attacking us, and we would do the same. And we were doing it very effectively because they ran out of funding. Even after running out of funding and losing their last remaining staging citadels in our space, they still refused to stop attacking us. So we decided to go after SOS's last citadel, which was in XGH in Tenor. When OG Void No showed up to fight AOA, SOS, and Brother Court's fleet, we jumped into system and they had set up 250 cans in an attempt to cause our fleet to DC. But we ended up not having many disconnects and heard later on that AOA, SOS, and Brother Court were the ones who suffered massive DCs. Just a little bit of instant karma right there. I believe that fight and those final losses that they couldn't afford were just enough to push them over the edge. So we reached back out and made the point that we had been allied with most of these corps for nearly 2 years, and we had been fighting each other for over 3 months, and we did not want to press our advantage and a chance of destroying AOA, who was previously SCG, who was previously ACR, both of whom we were allied with. They are an amazing group of Echoes players who put up an incredible fight and fought with everything they had. OG was happy to be their allies in the past, and we are happy to have the honor of fighting and winning against such tenacious adversaries in this conflict. Now we will go neutral as neighbors with a mutual respect to see what happens in the future. However, because of the can business and I don't have any contacts through SOS, AOA, or ZRQ, I did reach out to their hired help, the Brethren Court. I went and asked, I was looking for an official statement about the massive fight today, also if they endorsed the method used by their side of dropping 214 cans. Meliodas, the Pirate King, went on to say that we went for a fight, we were contracted and paid to show up and fight with our battle cruisers. We knew we would be facing a huge blob and only have battle cruisers to fight it. We went in because contract and hoping we would have some fun as we die. But unfortunately, clients decided to drop a ton of cans, which I immediately reacted to in local and Discord messages too. However, we were contracted to snipe and fight, so we tried. I can't control action of another alliance, and contract is a contract. I have repeatedly told them that we are unhappy with the can drops and made our fleet engagement very laggy and terrible. As an FC, it's the worst thing to happen. I know there's politics and people crying about things, people who don't even play the game. But as players and PvPers, no one is more offended than we about the situation. Some just talk more. Also, having 1,000 plus people in the system doesn't help, nor does it help that the drones are coming back slowly. Newa, one of the diplomats from Brother Court, wanted to add to Meliodas' statement, saying that the fight was not a fight but a lagfest. At nearly no point was it possible to actually control a fleet decently. I tried on emulator, phone, and tablet. At no point of this whole encounter my ship list was working. After all these years, one would think NetEase has improved the game performance. There were 1,060 people on grid, and it was a colossal waste of time in my books. And since we're talking about wars, there's been a small war going on around Impass between the Flying Circus and TT68 with the aid of the OTO Allaince. I'm told this happened a few days ago, that it is a war, that they took one of the posses, the Flying Circus's posses, to Hull. Their post-fact justification for this was that the posse was too close to their space, despite the fact that it was 3 months before they even moved in. Gengar goes on to say that, well, they don't get to fucking tell us what we can do in Impasse, so we immediately hit all of their posses. They then took our citadels to armor, then we took all of their citadels to armor. There's also a video out by Gengar that shows the defense of their citadel armor timers, and after the defense of their armor timers and the wiped fleet of TT68, they went and put all of their citadels into structure. And Gengar goes on to state for some clarification that TT68 tried to move into Impasse 1 month prior, and that Flying Circus had blocked all of their attempts and wiped every enemy move op. So instead they settled right on the border of Impasse, 2 jumps out, hosted by the OTO Allaince. But this would be a short-lived war, as I've heard from Gengar that this war has officially come to a close. I would say this would be one of the shorter wars, lasting only 4 to 5 days. However, this wouldn't be the only action that Flying Circus, especially the Spanish Inquisition of the Flying Circus, would see as they went head-to-head with the KOFR, Yet, and TT68 again, but also had the aid of the Space Cows to back them up this time. I'm saying it was a 100 versus 100 fight. KOFR, Yet, TT68 versus the Spanish Inquisition and the Space Cows. This fight went down in system HWQR. Aside from no stating that it was a massacre, there is a video out. I'm playing it now. All links to these videos will be in the description below. No claims that they did 88 billion in kills to the defending fleet. Now this brings us to another odd but enjoyable story featuring the harrowing. What happens when you hire someone as your official Diplo who is not part of your team? Well, this happened as Boop hired Heron Explorer as their official Diplo. And in that capacity, as Boop, an official diplomat, Heron Explorer wanted everyone to know that he was war decking on Boop's behalf the following groups: No, Silent, RETC, HRNX, AAA, the entirety of Pravi and anyone who has ever been there, Terran Federation, and Fear. Well, in his dealings in official capacity as a Boop Diplo, RETC decided to take this opportunity to hire him as their Diplo as well. And unfortunately, when you do have a outsourced Diplo, you can run into conflicts such as this, where your hired Diplo, who is now Diplo for both parties, advocates passionately for both sides. So remember, for all your diplomatic needs in the future, Heron Explorer will be out there awaiting your call. Let him represent your alliance today. Well, recently Delve has become a hotbed of activity between fleets going at TSC and TSC going back at fleets. The first would be a battle in DTech 3G IQ, And it appears to be a fight on the gate between No Please Stop and the Space Cows. The fight didn't seem long. It seemed to wrap itself up within 10 minutes or so. The fleet of No Please Stop consisted of about 96 ships, whereas the TSC fleet consisted of around 67. The bulk of the TSC fleet was wiped out on the gate in DTEC 3GIQ. After No Please Stop mopped up that fleet, they jumped through the gate to take care of the remainder. However, the entire fleet did not jump through. There was about 12 TSC ships waiting on the other side. Around 35 first entered and destroyed that fleet. So that was a hard lost battle for TSC. Next, we would have a unauthorized dropping of a Citadel by News in system QY6 Tech RK. Now, this was a Citadel for the News, Sky News, dropped in that system. However, I am told by leadership of the Space Cows that they woke up to a random SOV drop. They had zero communication with them prior to that day. Also, the drop of the Citadel was supported by VLT and Red Machine, and there were zero news pilots in attendance for that anchoring. The fight raged on while they were taking out the Citadel, and near the end, when the Citadel was just about to fall, a Sino appeared and a Naglfar dropped in on TSC. However, this cap drop would be a little too late, as the Citadel did fall to the Space Cow fleet. And then shortly after, the fleet then turned on that enemy Nag and took that out as well. It was a great fight. However, the losses were strong on the opposing side, with the Citadel fall as well as a 37.3 billion Naglfar. Now we turn away from the fighting and we open up to more industry right now, whereas entrepreneur Durkadur has opened up a Discord for stock sharing. That's right, this new Discord is called Equinox Investment. It states that Equinox Investment, formerly known as the Dirk Fund 4, is officially going public. Investors across New Eden will be able to buy, sell, and trade shares in our investment group. The Equinox Investment is an in-game trading group owned by private shareholders and operated by Durkadur. The group specializes in selling capital ships at high profit margins and offering investors a monthly ISK return. For the past 3 months, the fund returned 124.64 billion in net profit to its investors, with an annualized EPS of 196.29 million per share. An initial offering will be offered on the 18th of August, with 250 shares going at 1 times earning per share, 250 shares going at 1.5 times earning per share, and 250 shares going at 2 times earning per share. So what that means basically is you get in there. If you get in early enough, you can get that first batch of 250 shares at a lower cost. The next batch will be a little bit higher to buy into those shares, and the third obviously a little bit more. Savvy investors can reserve their position to get the best price possible by joining our priority list, first come, first served. Investors can buy, trade, and sell shares directly from our Discord, the same way you would trade anything else by joining our Discord server. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is an EVE classic. It sounds like a scam, but I've known Durkadur for a long time. Other people in the community have come out supporting him, stating that he is a trustworthy person. This is not a scam. In fact, I'm actually going to be investing in it as well because, you know, Ape Nation. So, I will have the Discord information in the link below, and you can decide for yourself whether or not you would like to invest in this and get monthly dividends paid to you in ISK. This week on our Corporation Alliance Spotlight, we have the Rebel Alliance back again. Looking for a change? Join the Rebel Alliance today. They are accepting pilots of all skill levels and playstyles to a friendly and cooperative environment with nullsec SOV, discounted ships, and a ship replacement program. PvP roams, cooperative PvE, industry, and more. The Rebel Alliance is a young organization, and joining now will give you the opportunity to shape it into the corporation you've been looking for. So grab your blasters and head on down to Teneferous to sign up today. You won't regret it. We start this week's episode of What the Fit with an Amar interceptor pilot who truly loves his missiles and variety, as he has 3 different types: small missiles, small torpedoes, and finally medium rapids. Moving on, we have another missile enthusiast frig pilot, but this time in a faction crewer sporting 2 medium rapids and a small missile launcher. Are you starting to sense a pattern here? For last art spot, we have another missile-loving frig pilot, this time in a succubus sporting small torpedoes. That's right, people. Remember that those bonuses on those ships, they're just suggestions. You don't need to follow them. Don't worry about it. It's not going to help you out at all with additional damage or anything like that. Just ignore them completely. So next time you kill something and the kill mail makes you scratch your head a little bit, send the kill mail into us and let's see if it makes the list for What the Fit. Moving into big kills, Silent Federation starts us off this week with a 13 billion Nestor kill. They also got themselves a Balgorn worth 5.7 billion. Now they did also score themselves a 16.9 billion Charon freighter kill. No Please Stop gives us this week a 5.1 billion Macarial and a 5.9 billion Balgorn kill. Hiss makes the list with a 5.3 billion Ashimu kill, as well as a 5.1 billion Phantasm kill. Smug Alliance gives us a 12.5 billion Bargus kill and a 9.9 billion Vindicator kill. OG gives us a 11.4 billion Badger 2 kill. Void ends up with a 11.9 billion Nightmare kill. Giv sends in a 5.7 billion Balgorn kill. Myth gives us a 6.4 billion Dramiel kill. And this guy, he doesn't have a corporation, so it's just a pilot PC school bus with an 11.6 billion integrated B-type Balgorn kill. And to finish this out is AAA Ad Astra with 4 Balgorn kills, one at 10.3 billion, one at 8.9, 7.5 billion, and lastly 8.8 billion. Now, I have been thinking and toying with the idea of raising the stakes on the big kills since everyone's, pumping more money into their ships lately. So you guys let me know in the comments, should we raise the kill value of these kill mails from 5 billion up to 7 billion to start off with? Let me know. So we're going to move right into the cap kills of the last 2 weeks. There is a few. No gives us 3 Nidhogger kills, one at 32.1 billion, one at 37.3 billion, and lastly, one at 35.5 billion. They also got themselves a 54.1 billion Chimera kill, as well as a 34.1 billion Thanatos kill. The Brethren Court sends in a 35.3 billion Nidhogger kill. Loco gets themselves a 37.2 billion Nidhogger kill. Void got 2 Nidhogger kills this week, one at 34.6 billion, the other at 33.7. Smug got themselves a 32.9 billion Naglfar kill. The Space Cows also send in a Naglfar kill, this one at 37.3 billion. Red Scorpions sends in a 32.1 billion Nidhogger kill. Honk from Silent Federation sends in a 55 billion Nidhogger kill. And OG finishes out with a 38.1 billion Naglfar kill. And now we come to everyone's favorite part of the show, that is the free Omega combo giveaway. We've broken it down into 2 different categories of solo kills, one for industrial, one for PvP. Now remember, the rules of this is simple. There can only be 1 person on the kill mail. It has to say 1, and that includes NPC rats. So if it's just you with some NPC rats, it does not qualify. Alright, starting us off in the industrial category, we have Nigel the Killer with a 1.1 billion Coveter 2 kill. We have No Mercy 33 with a 1.2 billion Coveter 2 kill. Tridiac U7 with a 1.3 billion Noctis kill. Spartan R208 with a 1.4 billion Magnet Covert Ops kill. Blackman gives us a 3 billion coveted 2 kill. Games Over SB with a 4.5 billion Orca kill. Ron Solo with a 9.5 billion Orca kill. And winning this week's Omega combo in the industrial category is Honk's own Ziggy's Duck with a 15 billion Badger 2 kill. Congratulations. Moving right into the PvP category, we have Dust with a 1.4 billion Ashimu kill. Augie Augie Oi Oi comes in with a 1.5 billion Arbitrator 3 Covert Ops kill. Mia Do with a 1.7 billion Garmer kill. Red State gives us a 2.2 billion Maelstrom kill. Alvalachi gives us a 4 billion Macario kill. Duck Bar sends in a 5.2 billion Macario kill. And winning this week in the PvP category by an astounding amount is a 39.5 billion Revelation kill by Voidhound. And for the record, I do believe this is the first Dread soloed done with a cruiser kill. I think this is actually the first Dread solo kill, to be honest. And that's going to do us for this episode. But if you need more news in your life, you know where to go. Check out Sky News, Russia's premier Eve Echoes Outlet News. They got a great production team over. They put a good show out. Don't worry that it's in Russian. All their episodes have English subtitles. And as always, you have the legendary Echoes of New Eden podcast with Rambo and Taylor Rick. Now, if you want to be part of the live studio audience during the taping of this, just go onto their Discord every Thursday night. And also another community great show is the New Eden radio show. They have a great program every Sunday where the community gets together and talks about everything of Eve Echoes, whether it be game news, community news. It's got it all, plus some great music to boot. So until next time, have a great week, have a great weekend, fly safe, and remember, we're always one vision, one purpose, one front.